Laura. Today we're going to be doing my favorite hip opening sequence, and this is a prone sequence. So we're going to start out on the hands and knees in our table. Bringing the hands right underneath the shoulders and taking the knees right underneath the hips. We're going to start out with some hip circles. So taking the knee up, circling it around to the front. As you reach back, extend through the leg. Reach back through the toes. You can spread your toes out, get some nice length, and then circle that knee out and around. As the leg is moving in those nice big circles, you're going to notice that your abs really have to engage here to keep the rest of the body nice and stable. But since we're focusing on the hips today, just working on getting the most range of motion out of the hip that you can. So you're trying to make that circle as big as possible, and if you can, come up and brush the back of the arm. Now we'll switch directions, start to open the knee out to the side, lengthen the leg back, and then pull the knee underneath. Still working with the core, especially your lower abs, using them to keep that stability in this pose. Let's take one more circle back. Coming into your table, we're going to curl the toes underneath and take an exhale, roll back down into down dog. Getting nice and comfortable in your down dog. And then we will add some hip circles into our down dog. So take an inhale, lift the left leg up, find your dog split. Start to roll that knee forward, brush the back of the arm, and then extend back. So a couple more times like that. Inhale forward, brush the back of the left arm, extend the toes back, three-legged dog. One more nice big circle. Now let's reverse that. Draw the knee underneath, sweep it out, touch the arm, lengthen back. So you're kind of alternating between a high plank and a down dog as you make that circle. You'll feel with that one that the core is working really hard. Now on our exhale, let's drop the left leg down, find your down dog. Working on rolling the pelvis forward, reaching the tailbone and the sitting bones up to the ceiling. On our next inhale, let's step the left leg up in between the hands. Find a high lunge. As you hold here, just thinking about dropping your pelvis straight down to the floor and keeping the right leg strong. So this leg is pushing back through the heel. Feeling all the muscles around the thigh working. Every exhale, just releasing straight down toward the floor. And keeping the right knee lifted so that the leg is straight. On your next exhale, drop the right knee, release the top of the right foot to the floor. We're going to inhale to come up. And just bringing the hands onto the back of the hips. Pull the elbows back. And giving a little bit of gentle pressure to release the hips forward. What we're going to get is a stretch down the front of the right thigh into our hip flexors. Then checking for safety, we want to make sure that the left knee is directly over the left ankle. Especially as you start to deepen, you might find that as the hips open up, the knee starts to slide out front. So if that happens, just kind of wiggle your toes out, give yourself some more space. Take one more inhale here, lifting up into the chest. On your exhale, plant the hands down. Curl the right toes underneath, lift the right knee up. On your exhale, step the left foot back into down dog. We'll take an inhale, lift the left leg up, find your three-legged dog. On your exhale, drop the foot behind you, open the left knee up to the ceiling. But making sure that the weight stays even in your hands and you're still keeping your index finger and your thumb grounded down into the floor. Inhale, extend that leg, still keeping the left hip open to the ceiling. Now let's square off the hips. Reach back through the toes. On an exhale, step the left foot up in between the hands. And then we'll start out with lizard pose. You're going to take the left hand to the inside of the left leg. And then it's up to you what you want to do with the back leg. You can either leave the right knee lifted up off the floor, or you can drop it down, release the top of the foot for a little more support. So whichever variation is more comfortable, then you can start to bend the elbows, slide down. I'll show you this pose from the front, because it can be a little tricky if you haven't done it before. So we start out in our lunge, we take the left hand to the inside of the left knee, and then just start to sink the chest straight down toward the floor, but keeping the knee in nice and close. Don't let the legs start to roll out. If you have really flexible hips, you might be able to lower all the way down onto your forearm. Taking deep breaths here, just working on trying to relax the hips, letting that opening happen gradually. We'll take an inhale, press back up onto the palms, take the left hand to the outside of the left leg, so we're back up into our high lunge. And then we will start out with an inhale to lengthen. On your exhale, step the left leg back, come into your down dog. Now let's inhale. Left leg comes up, three-legged dog. On your exhale, drop the foot, open the left knee up to the ceiling. Get that nice hip opener. We'll level the hips out, extend back through the toes. Take an exhale. Draw the left knee underneath, step it up in between the hands, high lunge. Now this time for our hip opener, we're going to walk the fingers so that they're about 6 inches farther in front. They're not underneath the shoulders anymore. They're coming up towards the top of the mat. And then we're going to let the left knee roll out to the side so that we come onto the outer edge of the foot. We're on the pinky toe side of the foot. Now take an exhale. Try to drop the hips straight down toward the floor. And you're going to feel a really nice opening through the outside of the hip. I like to call this like a lifted version of our pigeon. Now I'll show you what this one looks like from the front as well. So we start out in our high lunge with the hands underneath the shoulders. Walk the fingers a few inches out in front, and then roll the knee out to the side. Make your way back into a high lunge. Draw the left knee into center. On an exhale, step it back into down dog. We'll take an inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, open the knee, drop the foot behind you. Just letting the foot dangle. Knees opening up to the ceiling. On an inhale, we'll square the hips, lift up through the toes. Take an exhale. Left foot steps up in between the hands. And just holding here for a minute. Feeling that opening in your high lunge. Now we're going to make a transition into a deeper hip opener, into our pigeon. We'll lift that left foot up and drop it down onto the mat so that we're trying to bring the left foot up behind the right hand and the left knee up behind the left hand. Exhaling, sinking the hips down to the floor. If you want to deepen here, curl the right toes underneath, start to walk the right toes back, and you'll feel that sinks your hips down to the floor a bit better. And then release the toes. Take an inhale, lift up through your chest. As you feel comfortable here, you can start to exhale, drop down onto the forearms. And then if you want to go a little deeper, you can lower yourself all the way down. Just drop your forehead down to the floor, stretch the arms out in front. Let's use an inhale to make our way back up onto the palms. Curl the right toes underneath, lift the hips up. On an exhale, send the left leg back, find your down dog. On your exhale, drop your knees down and roll up to sitting. So that was the end of my favorite hip sequence on the left side. So make sure that you go over and do the right side so that you're balanced. Those hips are open evenly. So I hope you enjoyed that. Namaste.